STP.
Oh, my bad. I muted myself too soon. Hello everyone and welcome to today's STPL. My name is Kick, so if you've not seen the STPL before, here is the format. Best of 5 for all the games up until the grand finals, which will be best of 7. Set 1 to 4, the lineups are selected in advance and all the games are played at the same time. And set 5 is the ace match, which means every player can play again. The map pool's been pretty good this season. The prize pool is incredible. We've got over $2,000 now ready and waiting to be claimed at the end of the playoffs by one of our 6 teams. Sorry, I think it is that'll be making it into the playoffs. So really, really cool. There is the prize pool distribution as well, just in case you haven't seen it before. Now, today has been a relatively good Monday for me, so I don't think I can complain too much. I had a nice, easy day at work, which is never something I will complain about. But you know what? Sometimes it feels good just to get done with work, regardless of how the day went. So that's what I'm done. I'm obviously finished. I'm here with you guys, and that is exactly where I want to be on this Wednesday. I wish it was Wednesday, but it's Monday. Oh, my brain is still fried though. It's just the way it happens, you know. It doesn't matter what I do, I will always somehow manage to mess up speaking English. Like, I think it's just the way I was born. I don't think I fully understand my own native language, and I just say things that don't make sense, but because it's my native language, I can just expect you all know what I'm saying anyway and get away with it. So I'm lucky in that respect. But either way, let's have a look at our two teams today. Starting us off here is going to be Disturbed Mind. Now, Disturbed Mind, very, very good team. At least historically in the STPL so far this season, they've not done too well. Gone 1-5 with a second win being added as their walkover against White. But still pretty good. Now, Gosuvigi, if you're in the chat today, can you please screenshot somewhere where there's an error, and then I will try and fix it. Hey, Janky. But let's have a look at the other team. It's going to be the only Eternal Friends. Eternal Friends doing a little bit better this season. 4-4 win-losses. But basically, all of their players have been doing pretty well. Darking is definitely one of the lower level players, I would say, on Eternal Friends, but it's still pretty cool to see him back again. We've got Gosu Dark, who's currently on a 4-win streak. Chaylin, who is doing really well as well, with 3 wins in her last 4 games. Terra, with 2 wins in his last 2 games. And then, of course, Darking as well. But let's have a quick look at our lineups, and we'll have a look at who is going to be against who. We've got a ZVP to start us off. We're then going to head into a PVZ. Then we've got a TVT and then a ZVP. So somehow we have a matchup without a Protoss versus Protoss in it. So we've won. This is the winning Monday. But this is Championship Monday here. We've got no PvP. There we go. Winner of this series wins the tournament. No, but that won't happen. But let's have a look at the players we've got for Disturbed Mind. We're starting off with Happy. Happy has done pretty well. I'm fairly certain he'll be quite happy with his results so far. Excuse the very poor pun. It is 2-2 for him. This is his, well, he hasn't managed to be a Protoss player yet, so this could be a little bit difficult, because for Eternal Friends, we do have Gosudark. Now, Gosudark is definitely one of the best players on Eternal Friends, won most of his games with a, I was about to say a whopping 100% win rate against Zerg, but he's only played against Zerg once, so that doesn't really count, but still an incredible win rate. He's definitely going to be looking to keep his 100% win rate via, I've forgotten how to speak English, sorry guys. Keep his 100% win rate by winning this game, which is super important. Now let's have a look at the map stats we're going to be going into. It is going to be Andromeda. Andromeda, one of the more standard maps in the map pool so far. In ZVP, Zerg have actually got a bit of an advantage here, which will at least statistically help Happy here against Gosudark, but whether or not that's actually going to come into play is when we will see how this is going to go. As we get into game number 1, it's Happy versus Gosudark. Okay, the game has started, and starting us off here in the top, the bottom right hand corner, my apologies, is fighting in the pink. For DM, it's Happy. And in the opposite corner, starting in the blue, fighting for EF, it's going to be Gosudark. Now, I've been a bit lax in showing off the cheerfuls recently. I have done some... okay, I'm going to show this cheerful off because it is amazingly funny to me, but I'm really not sure anyone else is going to get it. It is like a UK politics joke, right? Okay, so this is a cheerful for DM made by the only lucky noob. I've got another cheerful system I want to put in place, but it's not quite ready. But this is Lord Buckethead. Okay, Lord Buckethead is... he's someone who stood in Theresa May's seat, who was our previous Prime Minister and has done for like the last 3 elections, I think. And he has actually been made to change his name because Lord Buckethead or something was... there was something about copyright on the name or something like that, so he had to change it, and I don't know what he's called now. But he's really funny. Like, he's got no chance of winning in that seat because it's Tory Town, but, like, if he could beat Theresa May, it would literally make my day. Like, I think that would make my year, in fact. Just imagine him going to Parliament in his full outfit as well. That would just, you know what, that would probably make my entire lifetime. We need to make it happen somehow, but it's not going to happen. Okay, so back to the game. We've got a 12 hatch coming in from Happy into a 12 pool. Meanwhile, we've got a Forge Fast Expand coming in for Gosudark. So everything is looking pretty normal so far. Now, Happy, from what I remember from his previous games, he is one to go for all-ins. So we could see a little bit of an all-in come in here. Although it looks like we're going to have a third hatchery in a relatively close position, but it's not at the mineral only, so he's going to skip the mineral only in his main, which I would say in a normal situation would be better. But I think in this situation, it should be fine. Now, one thing I want to do, if I can, is in the break, the first break, I want to put... I've made a video for the cheerfuls, which looks really... well, I think it looks really cool, and I accidentally turned off Gosudark's vision there, but... It's a way to slowly start to merge all of my interests, so we'll see if it works. It's very basic, but I want to build on it. moving forward, but it does involve VR chat. But I thought that would be the best way of making something to have it so there's like an audience holding up cheerfuls. So it's going to be the very first version of this. So there we go. We'll wait until the first break to do it. Then I've got to find a decent cheerful. But if I remember rightly, in the next game we've got Chaylin and Darking. No, Chaylin and Prey. And I'm fairly certain we have a good cheerful for one of them. Part of me does want to, well, part of me does wonder, Lucky Noob, A, how did you know that Lord Buckethead existed? And B, what does that have to do with DM? Now we've got Ghosty Dark going for a scout. Does see the third hatchery, which is a very important moment in the game. Lair is coming up as well. Ah, Disturbed Mind. Okay, I always forget that that's their full clan name. I never actually use the full clan names anywhere, I don't think, so I just completely ignore it and then forget. Like, if I remember rightly, IRKs is like Interrigit Koga or something. Not that I can speak Swedish. And then you've got Rasitia Erdedodel or something. Erdedodel for red. The only long one I can remember is Soul Gaming and Eternal Friends and Valhalla Team. They're the easy ones. I suppose Disturbed Mind should be easy as well, given the fact it is English, but... yeah, it's like... something Socrates... something? I don't know. I think it's Socrates. I think there's Socrates in the name. Now, is the probe going to get back in the main? Yes, it is. So, 5th hatchery is coming up here, or is this... no, I think it's the 4th hatchery so far. We've got Ghosty Dark pushing forward with just a single Dragoon and 2 Zealots. This is definitely not something that you'll see every day, but he did kill the Overlord with the Dragoon, so... And T45 in chat saying it's Rasiate Erdodel? Rasiate Erdodel? I don't know. My German pronunciation is very bad, so please forgive me. Now we've got Lings moving forward. They shouldn't be able to do anything at the natural. Ah, I nearly went into Japanese there. Of course, so it's Rasiate Ayadodel. Ayadodel. Yeah, I know what it means. You don't need to say what it means, though. Aya is eggs in German. Okay. Okay, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a timing push here coming into the 3rd base. Now we've got a lot of units here from Ghosty Dark and not really much at all from Happy. Like, where is the units Happy's been making? He is going into Mulisks, but Mulisks aren't really going to help defend this base against all of these Zealots. Zealots do a ton of damage, and this is not looking good. But it looks like the Mulis are eventually going to clean this up. A lot of the drones have gone down from this base. Some of them did manage to retreat, but it looks like we're going to have more Zealots running into the natural. The Dragoon getting caught off guard. The hatchery has been saved at the very least. But is this damage worth it? Was that good enough for Ghosty Dark? Ghosty Dark obviously losing a lot of his army during that engagement. High Templar now just coming in off of just 4 gateways. Cannon's coming up in the main because he knows he has to deal with these Mulisks, and he did scout. Well, he didn't go for a Stargate, so. And also Ashes at Aeternus Societas Honoris. I'm guessing that's Latin or something. I can't speak Latin either. I'm a language idiot. I can speak English and I can kinda speak Japanese. I think I can do a little bit better than I thought I could, so I'm quite happy with that, but I'm definitely not confident still, so. Okay, the Mulisk coming in here into the natural. They can't do any damage though. There's not enough to one-shot a probe. So they are going to scoot away after taking a little bit of damage. Oh, the Zealots coming back in. There's still nothing defending this base. Some drones were off in the middle of nowhere. There's 2 Archons coming in and oh no, this is going to be very difficult. The Sunken is going to go down and that means the only thing to kill the Archons is going to be Mulisks. And Mulisks, they don't do too well against Archons, but let's see if he can manage to hold on. It's going to be very, very difficult here. Ghost Through Dark is throwing all of his army into this. But I just don't see a way that these Archons are going to die. You need perfect Muteless micro for this, and it's so hard. Like, you'll see the amount of damage they just took in that one maneuver. The drones are all going down. Ling's coming in as well, but 2 Muteless going down already. 2 more Archons coming in, and it looks like the Balls of Death, the Archon Balls coming in here and cleaning everything up. The 4 Archons alone should be able to take down this base. And looks like that is Spanish of some kind. I cannot read that. Oh, I think, you know what, I think that said something like my drones couldn't enter the base. Or something like that. So I guess that's how that goes. But that's going to take us into a short break. And when we get back, we'll head into game number 2. It's going to be a ZVP again. And this time it's going to be Chaylin versus Pre.
STPL Season 3. Yeah. STPL does. Bio TVP? Wow! No problem. We got dragons to defend. Yeah. STPL does. STPL does. Mass Scout? Oh, I'm so afraid. We got Hydralisks to defend. Yes. STPL. STPL. Fantastic production. Fantastic casters, fantastic prize pool, only in STPL.
I'm about to overload my aggression inhibitors. Outstanding. Rock and roll.
Coast 103.5.
STPL Season 3.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did that too quickly again. Okay.
STP.
Let's go here. So the first player we're going to have here for DM is going to be Pre. Pre is a very entertaining player. If you had one player in the STPL who wasn't Radley, who did weird builds, it's this man. He is completely crazy. Like, I have no idea what he's going to do depending on the game he goes into. So that's one of the things that I guess we're going to learn ourselves as we get into the game. But his opponent is going to be Chaelin. Now, Chaelin is a very good female player from South Korea. Sorry, my voice is going again, which is a little bit strange. Yeah, he's actually got a really nice ELO as well, Pre. Look at that, 1969. Nice. But either way, let's have a look at Chaelin's stats as well. Chaelin has been doing incredibly well for herself in the STPL. We finally have a picture. It's Bunny Girl Chaelin. Very, very cute for sure. And, I mean, Chaelin has just been doing really, really well. She did lose recently against Medina. Medina managed to get his revenge on her in the last series, but still a 63% win ratio overall is incredibly good. Now, one thing I do need to do is just get ready, because I have set up this new cheerful system thing that I'm trying to go for, and I don't know if it's going to work. So you're going to have to forgive me. It's going to look a bit strange the first time we throw it up, but we'll worry about that as we get into the thing anyway. But let's quickly make sure. Yeah, so I've hidden it at the moment. It's all good. Okay, so let's have a look at the map we're going to be going into. It is going to be Hitchhiker. Now, Hitchhiker, one of the more, well, I guess it's not standard, but one of the more strategic maps in the map pool. We've not had too many PvZs here. It's mostly been Protoss versus Terran and PvP, but ZVP, at least back in 2018, went 1-for-1, and then Yeti returning on Hitchhiker earlier this season managed to bring it up to 2-to-1 in favor of Protoss. So are we going to have Pre taking, I would say, a relatively surprising win over Chaelin, or is Chaelin going to do what Chaelins do best and win the game? Let's find out as we get into game number 2 and do that as the police drive past. I don't know if you guys heard that, but if that was my old house and my old microphone, you definitely would have heard that. But either way, let's get into game number 2. Okay, the game has begun, and starting us off here in the top left-hand corner, currently on the run from the police for his build orders, it's Pre. And spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner, fighting for Eternal Friends, EF, it's Chaelin as our Blue Zerg. Now, I'm going to try this. I'm going to have to, like, mess around a little bit to make it fit properly, so do forgive me. But let's see how this looks. I don't know if this is going to work at all. I haven't actually chroma keyed it or anything. Well, I probably should have done this before, but there we go. Now I just need to fit the cheerful in, and then it's all going to look completely perfect. There we go. A nice VR chat cheerful someone made, and Chaelin is a girl, yes. Yeah, there we go. There is my new cheerful system for now. We'll figure it out a little bit later on, but we've got the probe coming in to the bottom right-hand base, just scouting around to see what's going on. Chaelin going for a very quick pull here. Well, I say it's a very quick pull. It is going to be an overpull. Very, very standard these days in PvP. Now we've got Pre building very, very far forward here. Yeah, we do need a bigger audience. When I've figured it out working properly, I'm gonna see if I can rope more people I know on VR chat into helping me out. But I need to do it properly and make sure it works, because it doesn't work very well right now. But that could be really cool if I can get that working. Now we do have a gateway and a forge coming in. Looks like no expansion on the way yet for Chaelin, so Chaelin could be looking to do a very, very quick set of 6 to 8 lings and go for a big push. Oh, a drone goes down. Pre actually managed to kill a drone there. Very, very good by him. And even blocking the hatchery as well. Just being as annoying as possible. Now, the pylon has been cancelled. We're not going to see anything too crazy going on. Lucky Noob in chat already calling GG. Which is kind of funny. Because losing a drone isn't the biggest deal, but obviously it is kind of annoying. Now, this is a very good place to wall. It is very far away from everything, but it's also very tight, so it's very good to be able to hold on. The cannon isn't done though, and a Ling is going to run into the main. Oh, this is so funny. Just a single a single Ling is going to... Okay, 2 Lings are going to get into the main here. Oh, this is kind of funny. The Ling does go down, so it's not the end of the world. Speed, I don't think, is on the way. Yeah, so no speed, so it's not going to stay alive forever. We've got 3 hatcheries coming up for Chaylin. Now, one thing that would be kind of cool is if Prey just goes and cannon rushes this base now. I don't think that's what we're going to have happen. There's a lot of lost economy going for these 2 probes. That'll be how it is for the time being. The first Zealot is going to try and get into the main base, but I mean, this is actually pretty good micro, being able to hold on to this for a while. The players do not stream the games. I don't think it's technically in the rules that they can't, but it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement that they don't. Or like a person's agreement is a better way of saying that. Because essentially we don't want the game spoiled before they're casted. The games are all played on Sundays, and then I cast on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We cast from replays because, especially early in the season, we had 6 best of 5s being played at exactly the same time, which means it's impossible to cast. So, okay, we've got a lot of Lings coming in here. Is Prey going to be able to hold on to this? There's only 1 Zealot back here. There's only 1 cannon as well. Now, Chaylin could actually use this Overlord to soak up the damage and go for the win, and I think that's what she's probably going to do here. Looks like a lot of Lings coming out of all of the hatcheries. And is Prey going to be able to hold on to this? This is not looking good. The cannon is not done. And if these Lings get into the main, it's pretty much game over. This is 6 Lings. Apparently my ability to count is also not very good. So add that to my list of bad English and also bad counting. But looks like these Lings are doing a lot of damage here. The drone or the probe drilling not too great. Honestly, Prey should just pull his probes away. This is a lot of damage, and I personally feel like it could be for no reason, but that wasn't too bad. It's 8 probes against 8 drones. And Chaylin is still linging up at the moment, and there's 3 cannons now. These probes shouldn't, or these drones shouldn't be able to get any more probes, but I mean, they can run past the cannon. There's still a Ling alive in the top right. The Zealot trying to come down here, but is this going to be enough to hold on? The cannons didn't get many of the Lings, but they did damage quite a few of them. But this Zealot on the ramp is going down almost immediately. Prey holding on for his dear life here. The Zealot surviving a lot longer, and this means he's going to be able to help clear out some of these Lings before they can kill all the probes. And only 1 Ling survives. This is actually very bad for Chaylin. It's still only 8 drones. If Prey can hold on to his front here, this is probably going to be game over, and Prey is going to take a pretty big upset. That was very good micro from Prey to be able to hold on to that there. There is still a Ling in the main base, but it's very low on health. But this 3rd wave could be do or die here for Prey. Prey needs to block this immediately, and he needs more Zealots. He, for some reason, oh, I guess it's because he keeps losing them, but only having 1 Zealot at the front is not going to be enough to hold on to these Lings. If at first you don't succeed, if at second you don't succeed, 3rd time lucky, is this going to be the case for Chaylin? There's still no additional cannons, so it is still what you see is what you get here, and it looks like these Lings are going to get in a little bit better this time. The Zealot not in a position to block for this. The Lings, there's so many of them. This is just 8 drones worth of economy, and this is 1 million Zerglings. I think this is just game over. I genuinely thought that Prey could have held on there, but he just needed to pull more probes to the wall. The cannon, the gateway is going to go down. There's 2 cannons coming up in the main. Prey is going to sack absolutely everything to try and hold on. But is it going to be enough? There's so many Lings. The Nexus in the natural is going to go down. Now there is a single Zealot over here. It's going to go down. It does kill 2 Lings, but that doesn't matter too much. and it looks like this is going to be game over. Still only on 8 probes. We're going to have Pre stuck now on 1 base. Forging Gateway coming in to help wall this out. Extra pylon coming in just to make sure as well. Now, is this going to be enough to hold on? And Zerg, very powerful. This is the Doc Holiday build. Doc Holiday, obviously a very well-known Ling all-inner from North America. But this is just too many Lings. It's just, not even DeWalt could win in this situation. Not even Stalk or Bisu could win from here. GG, pre-taps out, and Shaylin wins with nothing but Lings. Okay, let's go for a quick short break, and when we get back, we'll head into game number 3. It's going to be Terra versus Whip. It's a TVT on Fantasy 2. Toss a coin to your content creators, oh Valley of Plenty, oh Valley of Plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your content creators, a friend of humanity. Hello guys, and welcome back to the STPL. We're going into game number 3. Starting us off here for DM is going to be Whip. Now Whip is up against it here because if Whip cannot win this game, DM will be losing the series. And Whip's opponent is someone who is incredibly strong. It's the Peruvian powerhouse himself. He's not yet breached the top 10 in STPL, but his win rate against both all races and Terran, very, very good here. He's done very well recently. He did take 2 losses to Koga, which actually catapulted his ELO a little bit further down. He lost 14 ELO in that match, and where he is so high up, it takes a long time to gain that back up. But Terra's still one of the best Terran players, if not the best Terran player outside of Korea, and a really, really good player to watch as well. So the map they're going to be going into is going to be Fantasy 2. Fantasy 2 is a very strange map if you've not seen it before. I think by this point it's a little bit unlikely unless you're new to the STPL. But basically, the way this map works is, I mean, it's very, very hard to ever really explain this map to people. But basically it's a mix of 4 different maps. Top right spawn is Nostalgia, bottom right hand spawn is Ride of the Valkyries, bottom left hand spawn is Shin Gamer Go On, and the top left hand spawn is Legacy of Char. So very, very fun. We've had 2 TVTs here so far. They've both ended up being relatively interesting games. Scan versus Vodi was a little bit one-sided though. Terra versus Koga was definitely a lot more exciting. Let's see if Whip can pull this back, or if we're going to have a very quick series with Terra beating him as we get into game number 3. Okay, starting us off in the bottom right hand corner in the magenta, fighting for EF. It's the Peruvian powerhouse himself. It's Terra. And starting us off over here in the bottom left hand corner, fighting for DM in the yellow, it's Whip. So it's Peru versus Canada at the moment. We do have a cheerful for this match. Let's throw it on up. It's Whip. Whip doing pretty well, at least in the STPL so far. I'm guessing this is supposed to be Indiana Jones, but I'm not 100% sure. But we'll just go with that. And colors are wrong in the scoreboard. How did I get those around the wrong way? Let's just fix those, thank you. There we go. Lucky Noob saying whipped out toss.
Coin will be tossed, laughing face. Thank you for the effort and the beautiful casting.
Oh, thank you Noob Park for the $10 donation, man. Means so much. I'm glad you enjoyed my casting. That really does feel good to hear that, so thank you so much. We've got a Barracks coming in for Whip. We've got Terra coming in as well with a Barracks and a Gas, so it's going to be a Gas build for both players. Very standard for this map. Now one thing I will say is it surprised me that all I need to do is put my cute VR chat avatar on screen and people donate. If it was that easy I would have done it before. But thank you so much. It really does mean so much. Okay, we've got both players scouting each other out. They are both going to scout first, so we're not going to see any crazy shenanigans, I wouldn't say, coming in from either player. It's a little bit harder to get away with shenanigans if you get scouted first, obviously. Both players will be going into at least one Marine. I think we'll probably see 2 Marines from both to begin with. Now, technically, Whip could choose not to scout where the barracks is. I highly doubt that's going to happen, but he does see the Marine now, so nothing too much to worry about. Terra knows where the barracks is as well. Both of them taking just a little bit of health damage on their SCVs. Now, Terran versus Terran, TBT is by far my favourite matchup in the game, so I'm hoping we get a nice long TBT here. Now, Whip, I would say at least statistically, but basically, Whip statistically is not in favour in this matchup, but we have seen upsets before, and Noob Pack says that toss a coin for your content creator was what triggered him. But as soon as I did that, as soon as my friends listened to it, they were like, why didn't you just use streamer? I went way too far in content creator. There's absolutely no point in saying that. I need to re-record it at some point. But I'm so bad at singing, it took me so long to get it to sound even remotely like that, that I'm scared of trying to do it again. Even caster would be good as well. Toss a coin to your caster rather than toss a coin to your streamer or content creator, man. Oh man, why did I go content creator? That's just a little bit too much. Terra getting ready on the low ground to defend against some kind of push, but as we know, there's no push coming for him. It is in fact going to be 3 vultures before an add-on, which means Terra is going to be in a position where he can actually push forward fairly quickly if he wants to. We've got no bunker here, but we do have both players going for expansions. Now the good thing is Whip sees that 3 vultures are out, so he knows that at this point in the game there was no machine shop built for Terra, so upgrades wise Whip is going to be ahead, but can he hold on to the front? He needs to pull his vulture back, he needs to repair the vulture as well. Nice target firing so far by Whip, but looks like Terra is going to be able to hold on to this, and this is when things get a little bit rough as the Terran player. If he had his SCVs repairing the vulture, this would be a completely different situation. Now, oh, that's a nice block. And that's a nice block. If we were trying to do the Mitchell and Webb thing. And then, oh, and that's a bad miss. Like that kind of thing. But Mitchell and Webb is something that most of you probably won't know. So making it making another reference that no one will get. I'm so good at casting, man. I'm really, really good. Now we've got 3 Factory Vulture coming in. Speed is coming in for both players, but of course we're going to have a Vulture advantage. In fact, we should have Vulture parity now. Maybe with Whip actually having a bigger Vulture count. Now Terra did manage to save one. Now the barracks, not really helping out too much landing. I think he just wants to kind of eat some damage, but it looks like Terra wants to push in. Now, is this going to be enough? I think Whip may just have too many vultures here. And you get into a weird position in TVT, where you get taken down. If you lose all your vultures, it can actually just be game over. Especially when it's vulture versus vulture like this. Whip gonna be fighting on the low ground, needs to go to higher ground, but he's doing so much damage. Is Terra gonna lose to Whip here? This would be a massive upset, the best Terran outside of Korea being taken down by Whip, and Whip is doing this with pure macro. Whip is out, or he out-micro, well, he didn't out-micro him in the first battle, but in the war at least, Whip has been doing a very, very good job here. Terra got a lot of SCVs pulled out of Vine. It's 3 vultures against 4. The target fire by Whip is very strong. Terra doing his best to hold on to this. But every vulture he loses, every second he's not mining minerals with these SCVs, is a moment where Whip is getting further ahead. Whip ahead by 10 supply at the moment. The vultures slowly starting to fall, but the reinforcements coming in. This is very, very action-packed for a TBT. Looks like Whip is going to pull back with some bruised vultures. But he leaves that with a supply advantage and a worker advantage as well. And yeah, Xmog is saying arguably the best Terran. Well, if you look at results of major tournaments, I think Terra has done the best out of all of them. Obviously, Kogut is incredibly good, and he's the best foreign Terran in the STPL. But if you're looking at just tournament results, I would say Terra has the edge, because obviously he went to more of the big tournaments. So Kogut is still amazing, though. I would argue that Kogut and Terra are both the best 2 Terrans. He's by far the best American Terran, and arguably tied with Kogut for like best worldwide Terran outside of Korea. Now we've got a lot of vultures coming out here from Terra. They're both on even supply again, but this means that Terra has more vultures because he's down 12 workers. So if Whip takes this engagement, it could be a little bit rough. The target fire from both players coming in very, very handy here, but Whip could be in a lot of trouble. Terra really starting to put the hurt on. This is not a siege moment. You want to have your tank on siege. Terra is going to mine this tank down, and it looks like Terra may just have too much. I think this is going to be game over. The mine targeting, though, by Whip has been incredible, keeping his tank alive for so long. But is it going to be enough? The Terra's vultures, they're coming in 3 by 3. As a matter of fact, it's 5 by 5 now. And this is where the power play comes in from Terra. He felt like he was behind. He gets a lot of... oh my god, the mine drag could be hilariously bad here for Whip. This is going to be rough. Goliaths are very, very good against vultures, but there's just too many units now coming out for Terra. I think this is going to be it. EF are going to... oh my god, he should have mine dragged with that Goliath. He could have won the... well, not won the game, but he could have stayed alive in the battle if he'd done that. Looks like the barracks at the top of the ramp doing its job, eating a load of the hits from the vultures. And this is one of those moments where after all is said and done, Terra is up 30 supply. They're even on workers essentially, but that means there is almost no chance in hell the Whip is going to be able to hold on to this ramp. He's doing the best he can. The SCVs are being pulled. He has to block. He has to find a way to hold on to the ramp here. If he can, there is still an avenue back into this game, but it's going to be so, so rough. The SCVs falling The vultures falling as well, targeting the mines down. Very, very nice. Whip has done a very good job of that this game, but it looks like the macro machine of the Peruvian powerhouse is really starting to come into fruition here. A lot of mines going off, a tank coming loose, dying as it leaves the factory, and GG. Whip taps out and Terra wins game number 3. Okay, so that's going to take us into game number 4 when we get back after this very short break.
And people like Kix, for example, who has an encyclopedic knowledge of every map that's ever been released on StarCraft. And
he's the map man! Skibidi on did it. Skibidi on did it. Skibidi on did it. He's the map man! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-dee-da-ba-ba-da-bo. Ba-ba-ba-da-bo. Bee-da-ba-ba-da-bo. Ba-ba-ba-da-bo. Everybody plays one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, I don't let nothing hold you back. If Kix can do it, so can you. Gooba-dooba-dooba-dee-da-ba-ba-da-bo. Ba-ba-ba-da-bo.
Please don't listen to him for maps.
Yeah.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for game number 4 of EF versus DM. Now we've had a relatively short cast today. Can this game extend it? As it is our only series for today. And Whip, sorry, I didn't actually click the win button, so we're not going to see Whip again. Terra did win that game. It's going to be Keen fighting for DM. Now Keen has actually done pretty well in the STPL, 3 for 1 so far, which is pretty good. So that's pretty sick. And let's have a look at Keen's opponent. It's going to be Darking for EF. Now Darking hasn't done as well, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Darking not winning a game so far, reminding me of a little bit of Narsil's record at the beginning. But maybe this is the game that Darking takes. It is going to be a ZVP again, so we've got 3 ZVPs today. A really fun matchup anyway, and it's going to be on the one, the only. It's going to be on Core Breach. Now, if you've not seen Core Breach before, but you have seen Inner Coven, and you think, this map kind of looks similar, it's because it does. It is the same map, it's the updated version. Wasn't quite ready in time for ASL, but it looks beautiful. The games on it are beautiful as well. Interestingly, you would think games on this map would be longer, because it is a lot harder to push around the outside of the map, but Mutalisks have been winning a ton of games here for Zerg players across all the matchups. Are we going to see that again, or is Darking going to be able to hold on and take the 4-0 sweep against DM? Let's find out. Okay, starting us off in the left-hand corner of For Breach, it's Darking fighting for eternal friends. And down here in the bottom right hand corner, fighting for DM, it's Keen. Okay, so this is going to be our final game. Regardless of the outcome, there is no chance of DM winning this series now. A little bit unfortunate for them, but EF, this is going to be very important for them as they need this win to try and secure their way into the playoffs. We only have 2 game weeks left after this one before we head into those playoffs, so all is to play for. Now, interestingly, Darking is going to go for a Forge Fast expand here rather than an Nexus First. Now, this little black square here, in case you've not seen this map before, it's a floor gun turret which appears in the campaign. It is completely invisible and unclickable until you have vision, which means Zerg can expand a little bit quicker. The Overlord and the drone obviously help clear that out. There's the floor gun turret behind. Okay, I guess he just doesn't want to take an expansion. But he is going to find out he's right next to his opponent, which is something that's kind of funny. Now this drone has sacrificed itself for the good of the swarm because there is no way that is getting back home. Now I wonder if this counts as within the Dark Swarm or if this is outside of it. Freakling is very good at map making. Like, Freakling is definitely one of the best map makers outside of Korea. And I don't think he would let a mistake like that come into play, so I imagine that's probably under, but it would be interesting to see what happens if a ghost stood there. Because a ghost has the smallest hitbox in the game. But looks like we do have Keen just running around. The hatchery is going to be built, but it did come up after the spawning pool, which means the lair is going to be a lot faster here. I believe that would have been... I suppose that would have been an overpull based on the gas timing, so... Nothing too crazy, although I did miss it. I'm not a Zerg expert in any way, shape or form, so please forgive me. We're also 9 weeks into the STPL, so my brain is like... It's okay, it's not as bad as Season 1, where Season 1 was basically 15 months of casting almost non-stop for me. Like, 9 weeks of casting non-stop really starts to take a toll on my brain. But it's really fun. I love doing it, which is why we do it. And if we had breaks all the time, we'd just end up with another 15-month tournament, which nobody wants. The players don't want it. I don't want it. The viewers definitely don't want it. And to be honest, being able to cast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday is pretty good. And this week, I will have a break on Wednesday anyway, so that's not too bad. Basically, on Wednesday, we would have had VT versus Net Wars, but Valhalla team, unfortunately, none of their players turned up on time, so Net Wars took the walkover. Now, I do wonder what Keen's plan is here. It is going to be Aspire. Is it going to be Muteless? Will we see this second gas coming in quickly? Or are we going to see a lot of minerals being mined and just go into a more standard play? I would say Muteless are definitely the best choice on this map. They seem to win the game all the time for Zerg players. Now, I genuinely thought when they added these high grounds that things would be a little bit easier for players against Zerg who are mass expanding. But we never really get to the point late game where it can come into effect in ZVP. The games usually end relatively quickly, and the ones that don't have been incredibly weird, so looks like Darking is getting it ready to take a third base quite quickly. Keen doing the same thing. There's the floor gun trap. Only has 50 health, so it's not a big deal. But Keen going for a third hatchery before any Muteless are produced, and still no second gas. I mean, he is banking gas, so it is going to be Muteless build here. Looks like he's going to build the Muteless before he builds any hatchery or anything like that. So maybe sending that drone a little bit too early. Sending it that quickly is kind of pointless if you're not going to be able to build the hatchery right away. But it's there just in case. He is going to go into the hatchery anyway, so not too much of a big deal. Looks like we do have the Stargate coming in, a cannon coming up in the main as well. And I mean, Darking is doing everything in his power to help defend against these Mutalisks. He hasn't really seen too much. I don't think he's scouted much whatsoever. But, I mean, it's just the way that Zerg players play on this map, so it's all good. Oh, and looks like the Corsair goes down. That's actually a big problem. That first Corsair going down to 2 Scourge may have just won Keen the game. That's how crazy that Mutalisk can be. The Mutalisk count goes up and up and up. You've got +1 attack coming in. Every single Corsair is important in this situation. Now the Mutalisks are taking down the cannon. The other cannon should be able to finish, but he does want to try and take down that Corsair. The cannon being focused down. The Corsair coming back in. This Corsair is so unbelievably important. Ah, so apparently a Ghost is 15 by 22 and a Ling is 16 by 16. So it must be that 15 that allows them to go through the Troy Gates. The Troy Gates, in case you don't know what I mean, is what was on Gold Rush. And what was the other map? Multiverse recently, where it's 2 Vespene geysers next to each other with assimilators on. When you kill both the Vespene geysers, the Ghost can still walk through, but no other unit can. So it must be because they're so slim. Thank God Lings couldn't get through those. Now the Mutalisk count is going up and up. The Corsair count is finally back up to 3. But when the Muta count gets over a certain level, it becomes kind of... Well, realistically, as long as +1 carapace is coming in, Corsair count needs to be a 10 plus to be able to deal with the Mutalisks. I mean, there's a lot of cannons here, which means he shouldn't die to the Mutalisks, but it is still a lot of minerals going into cannons that aren't going into anything else. We've got the first High Templar here. It's in a very vulnerable position. Storm is such a big equalizer against these Mutalisk numbers, but if you leave your High Templar basically in the middle of nowhere, that's not what you want. Now an Overlord is going to go down, but the Corsair is going to find themselves in the middle of the map, running away from the Mutalisks here. It does look like he's going to save them for the moment. Now, if you're going to queue Corsairs, I almost feel like it's better to just go for a second Stargate. That's obviously me not really knowing Protoss. Maybe Darking's macros slipped a little bit earlier because of what happened. But I feel like with the money he has, he should definitely have some more buildings building either units or Corsairs. Oh no, the Corsair's running out. This is not where they want to be. The Mutalisk count is massive right now. I think this is over 1 control group. Yes, it is. Now the Scourge coming in here as well. Oh no, the Scourge connecting with the Corsairs. And that may just be the move that ends the series. The 2 Corsairs are actually doing a lot of damage. The Mutalisks are dying very, very quickly here. The Mutalisks need to target the Corsairs down. They're the big damage dealers. And it looks like all the Mutalisks are going to die. Darking is holding on somehow with just 2 Corsairs. And the cannons are going to be rebuilt. A 3rd Corsair comes in and Keen makes a massive blunder. Now with no Mutalisks, with no Scourge, the Corsairs can actually fly in and kill all of the Overlords here. But that was definitely not something that Keen was planning on doing. I think Keen severely misjudged the situation. +1 carapace was done, but it wasn't done enough. And that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but I get what I was going for. But +2 carapace is coming in, but the bonus of having the Mutalisks is gone. There was just no benefit to going in there. Not a lot of probes went down. Yes, the cannons died. That's a lot of minerals that didn't go into gateways. But just think of how many Mutalisks he just lost. If he'd have flown in, killed the Corsairs with the Scourge and flown away, that would have been completely respectable in that situation. Yeah, Ghost Image pointing out it was not done enough, meaning it should have been +2 carapace before he took that engagement, but we've got an extra gateway coming in. We do have 2 storms on this High Templar in the natural. There's also, in the main, and there's a load of storms over here in the natural as well. Now the problem is, because Keen lost so much, the next engagement, it's just going to go worse. Like, if he still had all of his Mulus from before, then I think this would be a completely different story. But, okay, +2 carapace is really good. But look at the Corsair count now. This is when things start to get almost impossible for the Zerg. And it's when you really start need to looking at Hive, going into Ensnare, or even Queen, so you don't need Hive for that. But going into Ensnare and Hive and Devourers, like, Corsair counts of this measure, with these amount of upgrades, plus, though this is range, I was going to say +2 is almost done, but it's not, so, I mean, this is still something that Darking can't afford to lose, so he does need to be careful. The Corsairs need to get back home, run back to the High Templar. It's going to be 7 Corsairs against quite a few Mutalisks, but it's only 12, and it's a lot of Scourge, so I do wonder how this engagement's going to go. If Keen can go up to the top left and kill the 3rd base, we could be in a situation where he could come back, but Keen is very far behind in this game so far. Now the Corsairs coming up to help defend against this. The Storm coming down, really helping. Oh my god, the Storms are insane! Killing so much of the Mulus. GG! And Darking is going to secure the 4-0 sweep for EF. Okay, so that final game really showing why Muteless can be a problem if the Protoss player defends properly. Now, Ghost to Dark winning game number 1 over Happy. Chaylin winning well, I would say very easily, but it was very close. It was such a strange all-in from Chaylin that somehow managed to work in the end. We've got Terra taking a win over Whip. Given how well Whip did in that game, I'm very impressed, because he was up against one of the best 2 Terran players outside of Korea, and he very nearly killed Terra. Terra was on the ropes at one point in that game, but then the macro machine of the Peruvian powerhouse kicked back in, and he did manage to beat Whip with the counter. And then Darking taking down Keen. Keen unfortunately being in an incredible position and throwing away all of his Muteless far too often. Now that is going to bring an end to our series for today. I do want to thank you guys for tuning in as always. We should have probably turned the light on, but I can't be bothered because the light switch is all the way over there. My curtains are all the way over there, and I'm casting in the middle, and this is so confusing. But either way, it's been great fun. We've had a short series today, but it's still been great to be able to cast it for you guys. We'll be back on Friday with 2 more series. We're going to skip Wednesday today because we've got no series for that, but we've got Bull versus IRK, which should be a lot of fun, and then we've got Red versus Rev to finish us off for the week. No Soul this week because I do have a bye, and no Soul next week either, and Ash are also on a bye week this week. So yeah, let's bring up the Patreon screens, and when we won't get back, but I'll find someone to raid, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Just quickly as well, a massive shout out to our sponsors, Liquipedia, Maturino, and of course Esport Fund, as well as anyone who supported on Patreon, subbed to the stream and donated as well. It all helps increase the prize pool. Anything on Patreon I'm looking to add towards the next season prize pool at the moment, but anything through Maturino will go on this prize pool. So thank you so much guys for supporting the STPL, and I'll see you Friday.